That's right. It's time to enter a whole new goddamn dang on universe. And I'm here, your old friend Marty, to take you there all the way. Gonna get you into the places, in between the places. But, I'm gonna go ahead and let Puck explain exactly what's going on tonight. Hey, Puck, take it away.
Okay.
he seems excitable. He's been out of the game for a while.
That's cool.
Thanks, I hate it.
Yeah. Welcome to a very special Mercenaries of Mischief presentation. We are doing a Gothic horror game with these fine people in front of you who may seem familiar to other characters that you have seen.
But not too familiar.
But not too familiar, yes. There's something else lurking beneath the surface. This game is called A Weekend in Pavalia. And Pavalia is a real island. I encourage you to look it up. It's an incredible story. I just had the head shake. Without further ado, I'm ready to launch right into it. And I also like everybody to know that our live requests for bonuses are still active. However, they've been pruned for this particular event. You can only give our heroes here advantage rolls or group re-rolls. But as always, you can empower the Dungeon Master. And what happens here is when you empower the Dungeon Master, something spooky happens. So that's how that works.
Not a fan of that.
Nope.
That's how that's going to work for the duration of these sessions. Now I'll get to introductions. Starting from the top. To my right, we have Jill Faulkner joining us today. To the right of my right, we have Henton Wright joining us. And just below me, we have the amazing Kashano. And then to the right of the amazing Kashano, we have Nora von Fehrenbach. And to the right of Nora, we have Lilith Cantante. That means something. We're doing a lot of other language stuff in this session. So, these are our players, and before everyone gets started, what I would like you all to do is look at your character sheet, add up the number that is your wisdom bonus, and then you add that number to either your intelligence bonus or your constitution bonus. You may choose.
Okay.
And then I want you to write that number down.
Okay.
I don't like this.
Now that number is the amount of times that you can glimpse beyond the veil of this world into something supernatural before you begin to crack.
Oh my god.
So it was wisdom and then intelligence or what? I'm sorry. It was...
Intelligence or constitution, you may choose.
Okay.
We're gonna die in 30 minutes.
I'm feeling great.
This is gonna be a short
Come
stream.
now. Come now.
Mhm.
Now, allow me to set the scene. Got some nice music going. The year is 1895. And you are all in Venice. You have spent the night at the Hotel Danieli because you've all been invited here for a special event hosted by one Cesare Pratti. He is known as a little bit of an eccentric. It seems that he made his fortune through treasure hunting and has since then called himself a futurist, always looking for the next big thing. Mr. Cesare Pratti has purchased an island known as Pavalia, just off the coast of Venice in the Aegean Sea. Still within the Venetian lagoon, of course. Now, upon purchasing this island, he sent out a series of invitations to various unique individuals to come and join him for a once-in-a-lifetime experience, a weekend in Pavalia. He promises an incredible experience and a unique investment opportunity for interested parties. You are all here because you have received such an invitation. And as morning arises, the boats have arrived at the Hotel Danieli, collecting your various goods and possessions, loading them up, and preparing to embark you all towards the island. The people running the boats inform you that they are going back and forth all day, taking everybody. You're the last group of visitors that they need to ferry over to the island. And it doesn't take long before everybody is loaded up, and as the morning light reflects off the Aegean Sea and the beautiful coastline that is Venice, you hop aboard a small passenger boat and begin traveling towards the island of Pavalia. And you have time on the boat to mill about and discuss things with each other.
Does Lilith look hungover?
Lilith has taken... She's somewhat recovering, but she started the morning with a cappuccino. And it's rumor has it that the caffeine helps cure hangovers. But other than that, probably just tired looking. She probably she's gonna be like leaning against Nora.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
And
Nora has instantly linked arms with her and is making sure Lilith doesn't fall overboard.
Yeah, like as soon as I see Nora, I go like, "Buongiorno, Nora," and I do the kiss on the cheeks.
Lady
So lovely
Lilith,
to see you
are
this
feeling
morning.
okay? It's lovely to see you too. You look beautiful.
Yes, what a way to start the morning, A little headache, but I'm sure it'll go away as soon as the caffeine kicks in. How about you?
It's vacation. You're supposed to overindulge, and I'm fine. Just excited.
Did you go straight to your room, or did you have a night visit at Kashano's?
I didn't know. That's scandalous. What kind of person do you think I am?
Oh, I'm so sorry. I must have misinterpreted the situation between you two.
You
My
told me
apologies,
not to.
Nora. Well, I mean, you're young and at that rebellious phase. I mean,
I'm considering dunking Lilith overboard at the moment.
Lilith is unaware as you look at the water, considering it. She's just linking arms and just looking around.
Linking arms, arm moves up a bit to possibly throttle slightly.
Yeah. So these two high society women are chatting it up towards one section of the boat. And does anybody else have any other interactions that they wish to engage in?
When I see Lilith clearly trying to like nurse a hangover, I'm gonna walk up to her and I'm gonna say, "Ma'am, hi, Jill. There's this new kind of thing that they say helps with your particular ailment at the moment. It's called brunch. Have you heard of it?"
I'm sorry. Brunch? Explain yourself.
Yeah. It's sort of like a not breakfast, but not quite lunch. There was a recent article that came out about it. I've never tried it myself, but perhaps it could help. It's sort of just like a mid-morning meal, if you will.
Oh, noontime tea!
Sure.
I understand.
Use this hat. I feel like this is a horrible hat.
Yeah, but Kashana might actually wear a horrible hat.
It's true. It's a
Yeah.
point. Good morning, ladies. We all feeling fresh and frisky today?
Lilith appears to be getting there. Possibly with this new
Did she say-
brunch.
Yeah,
Perhaps
I've
what you
heard of
need
it.
is a bit of hair of the dog. And he pulls out a small vial of a tonic. It says hair of the dog on it.
That doesn't seem like something.
Nora
that's gonna-
smacks his hand away. This is what got us in the problem in the first place. She
Oh.
doesn't need any more.
No, I assure you, this was provided by a medical professional. It's mostly cocaine.
Oh, well, in that case,
said
then,
what?
it can't possibly be wrong.
It is the 1800s.
Fair enough.
No?
I've actually got. Hair of the dog isn't quite what you need. I've actually got some medicinal pure cocaine that I could give you some of.
Got the good stuff. Got this Colombian chick.
Suit yourselves.
Is this how brunch is? Brunch with cocaine?
No, this isn't brunch. That's a different thing. This is we're beyond that now.
Look, how much cocaine is going to be in this game, guys? Just
I mean, how much cocaine do you want in this game?
How much cocaine?
How much cocaine are we allowed to bring?
How much money you got on you?
Penton steps out
and-
from around the corner, holding his head and his walking staff with the skull on it in the other hand, and he's like, "They say in the most recent articles that cocaine can cure most basic ailments, and I too am dealing with a hangover, so I may have something in my bag." And he pulls out a doctor bag and starts rifling through it and pulls out a little vial, and he's like, that should do it. And he'll take a little nip and be like, "Oof, anyone else?"
I was like,
partaking?"
or if you want
Wanna go jogging? Let's
a
go for-
non-cocaine solution, as I was saying, brunch is very useful. Yeah, eggs, fatty foods. That's sort of thing.
Run.
Oh, well, over here in Italy, we can't say no to food, so if eggs are on the table,
Well,
I will surely,
Well, eggs are always
Take
on
a-
the table.
heck at it.
What an odd name for an egg dish. Brunch.
No, brunch is the. Oh, goodness me, I shouldn't have brought this up among this crowd. Apparently,
we have brunch back home all the time. I don't.
Where's
yeah,
home?
None of you
they
have heard of
apparently
this.
haven't. They apparently haven't.
We call
heard
it
of it.
snack time or break time with
To be-
tea. You got your
to be
breakfast and you
fair-
got your other meal. Lunch?
To be fair, the naming of it is a bit recent.
So,
Wait, so we're talking about... Oh, you mean 11sies?
It-
In your tiny brain, yes.
My halfling brain.
so it doesn't take too much longer before the boat starts to arrive at the edge of Pavalia. And you can see, as you come around the building, these massive red brick structures. There is one that looks almost like an administrative building. It has kind of a bulging center portion on it. And you can see that it's been recently redone. The scaffolding is still fresh around it, and there are work crews everywhere. That building then connects to a series of 2- and 3-story residences. As you make your way around, you can see much of the island is still overgrown. It seems that it's been quite some time since anybody has settled here. As you move around the island to the canal that separates the two sections, you can see crews hard at work, cutting down trees, repairing brickwork, and you can see several large structures through the mess of brush and trees at the edges of this place. And as you eventually come into the canal, you can see there is a large kind of docking house where they bring in boats and dispatch new boats. It doesn't appear that anything's set up here to accept very large vessels at this point, but you imagine that kind of construction will come later down the road. The first thing that you notice is that there are a number of people getting on boats to leave as you are arriving. And they appear to be of the lower class. They appear to be workers. A lot of overalls and tool belts, and dirty faces and calloused hands, as they load up in large droves to dispatch off. And as the boat comes into dock and moors itself there, a sprightly fellow with dark hair, well-dressed, no overcoat, though, I'm afraid, comes forward and says, "Hello! You must be the last of our guests! Welcome to Pavalia! I am Mr. Precht.
Yes.
It is a pleasure to meet you all."
Mr. Brett?
Precht.
So would this be the guy that we got the letter from?
No. That
How
was
do you
Suzanne.
do? Lilith Cantante.
It is a pleasure to meet you, Miss Lilith Cantante. I've heard great things about you. I'm sorry, so sorry about your husband's passing. I trust you are coping well.
I instantly am at her side again, patting her arm.
I'm
We don't
behind
mention
them,
that.
like,
Oh, my apologies. And you must be Nora von Ferenbach. It is a pleasure to meet you as well.
I am. I see my reputation has preceded me.
Well, we are very eager to have you here. We have not had anybody from the Ferenbach family visit a Pratti estate in, well, I don't think ever.
No, my family hasn't gotten out too much, but we're hoping to change that, so I'm delighted that you have extended your hand to me.
Oh, it is a pleasure to have us. Or have you. And you must be... I'm sorry, you...
Oh.
It says on the list that it was... I'm expecting an older woman. Is
yes,
there a
well-
mistake?
she's, still a bit bereaved. Wanted me to come in advance and sort of check out the potential of the investment here. Please.
Oh,
And
you are Kashano. You are the amazing Kashano, then.
a big bow and produces a card seemingly out of nowhere. The very same. Pleasure to make your
yes,
acquaintance.
The Hound sisters had told me that you would be coming. They arrived just a few minutes before you.
Oh, wow. That is
Ah,
quite flattering. I have to say, I hadn't realized I'd made such an impression upon them.
well, yes. He tucks the card away, and he says, "And you must be Penton Wright. How nice of you to come to see us from so far away.
The very same. England is.
How was
quite cold
your
time
stay
of
in the
year.
hotel?"
It was very nice. I had some exotic liquor. Put me to bed quite early, but a good night all the same.
Yes, well, you'll find that your cold times are over out here in the warm waters of the Aegean, my friend. I believe you'll have a good time. Ah,
That's my hope.
and you must be Jill Faulkner.
The very one and same. Not sure
Tell me, what was
why
it?
I'm here yet.
What was it like to be so close to such an impressive discovery?
It was of course, inspiring to watch Mr. Rotenberg work and to study under him for
Well.
so long.
I hope you watched very closely. I'm sure
Yes.
Mr. Cesari will love to hear all about it. Now then, Mr. Cesari has asked that I give you a short tour of the estate. If you will all step off the boat, you can follow me, and I can show you around.
And when will we have an audience with the gentleman of the estate?
Mr. Cesari will see you at the party later this evening. We're to spend the morning and the afternoon on a tour of the island.
No,
Very
did
well.
you hear
Special
that? A
presentation
party!
planned for every... Oh, yes. We have all of the latest amenities here. While most of the island is still under construction, Mr. Cesari has already fully set out the living quarters and a brand new ballroom. With
Yes, it's a little more
Brand new-
wild than I expected.
Yes, we're still fighting back the overgrowth, as it were. But all to be expected with construction. Once you see the ballroom, it is fully set up with the latest technology. We have electricity, and we have electric lamps all throughout the building.
I did have some questions about the operation of the electricity. I'm quite interested in incorporating it into my public performances. Is there anyone on the grounds that could speak more to the operation and particularly the hazards?
Well, we've brought in a couple workers. Most of the workers who's installed our electrical systems have already departed. For now, it's mostly our laborers doing the brickwork and that sort of thing. However, this kind of technology is quite a hobby of Mr. Cesari, so I'm sure he could talk with you about it at length. He considers himself a futurist, always on the cutting edge. He's an impressive man to work for, I must say. But I've talked your ears off enough. Shall I take you around the grounds?
Ladies, after you.
Please.
And you guys are all brought off the boat. And once you exit, you can see that there, next to the boathouse, there is piles and piles of crates and supplies stacked up in a pyramid. And then to the other side of that, there are these collapsing ruins of a red brick church that is kind of falling to pieces.
Ew.
Yes, we're still working on that. We're not sure what to do with the building. Of course, I'm sure you fine people might have some ideas on what it could become. Seems it was a church
Hire
in the
better
old
workers?
days.
You hire better people.
I mean, it's certainly got the makings of a fantastic theater. Many of these older houses of worship were built with excellent acoustics.
Absolutely.
Why would you
It's a shame that the bell tower is no longer intact. It was repurposed by Napoleon Bonaparte as a lighthouse, as it were, and has since fallen into disrepair. But you'll notice that this island has a very rich history. We're restoring what we can. This way, I'll show you to the rest of the facilities that are available here.
I pull out a little notebook and make like a very big show of taking notes.
Absolutely. Does anybody
Enjoy.
want to make a perception check for me?
Oh yeah.
Well, now that you've said it,
Right?
Woof.
oh wait, I should probably join the game.
That's not good.
All right. Oh boy.
Lilith Cantante
In a rare turn
Lilith.
of events.
In a rare turn of events,
told you,
Lilith
it's
is super
it's the cappuccino!
perceptive.
You get the
Lilith
caffeine in the
Cantante.
morning,
Oh,
and when you have
that's right.
I looked it up. That's an Italian hangover.
Oh yeah, that's right. Sorry, we're so used
Yep.
to seeing the rolls.
Yep.
Yeah, I got a 7.
Yeah.
Oh,
I got,
Alright.
yeah, I got a crit fail. So 7.
I got a 14.
I got a nat 20.
I got
so
a 12.
Lilith Cantante, the first thing that you notice, None of these workers
here's
are
the question.
Italians.
Big one.
What are they? Americans?
They appear to be from Austria. They appear to be from the various portions of Austria-Hungary. If you had to guess, these guys are likely Hungarian or Croatian from just across the Aegean Sea.
Is this like a personal team you hired? I don't see any Italianos here.
Ah, a keen eye, Miss Contante. Yes, we.
Well, I've been living in Italy for quite some time.
We had to bring most of our workers in from across the Aegean, I'm afraid. Too many superstitious folks on mainland Italy. But you'll find that Austria-Hungary has some of the best masons you'll find anywhere else.
On that point, what is the nature of the rumors surrounding this place? I heard quite a few things, and I have to say my client is a bit concerned about the investment potential over such a stigmatized estate.
Ha! Mr. Cashano! Come now. We are all modern people here. Is it not time that we shrug off these superstitions?
Well,
You're
We've
here.
covered this. We've covered this globe of ours, and we've found no ghouls or ghosts.
certainly,
I think it's about time that we stop looking under our beds and look to the future instead.
just because we're rational, if the intention is to turn this into some sort of holiday resort, then indeed the perceptions of the public are key.
True. But don't put much stock in rumors. As Mr. Pratti always says, the more you whisper about it, the more likely it is to catch on.
Speaking of
We'll
whispers,
believe what you told them.
Mr. Pratti is in good health, I've heard.
Oh yes, quite good health.
Interesting.
Now then. So he leads you guys down a path, and you go past this kind of enormous building. And he says, Mr. Wright, Miss Faulkner, this will be of some interest to you. This is our hospital. We are working on the restoration currently. It has fallen out of use for about 40 years. But we believe that we can turn it into a state-of-the-art new facility. Perhaps a place where you may practice your craft in the future. Perhaps both of you.
Yes, perhaps I could call upon my brilliant colleague Wilhelm to assist me in that.
Yes, perhaps.
Why, pray tell, would a holiday resort be in need of cutting-edge research hospital?
Well, it does not have to be a resort. It could be all manner of things. We've got quite a bit of land to work with here. And it couldn't hurt if anyone has injured to have a state-of-the-art medical facility available.
No
And
established
also-
business plan.
Also, what place in the world doesn't need a research facility? It
Well
does
said,
better
Miss
us all
Faulkner.
towards the future.
Where there are people, there will always be those in need of help.
Well, sure, but not while they're on holiday. People want to be entertained, amused, occupied, not dabbling in...
What you seem to forget
X-rays.
is that even if this is a holiday resort, that means there will still be people that have to live here to work and do the jobs, and those people would indeed need such a place. Would they not?
I'm just saying there might possibly be better use for the space.
And what would you
Build your
recommend?
theater back there and leave the facility alone.
I mean, you can have multiple theaters, one
On a
for
small island.
Do
you need multiple
resort
theaters?
destination? Yes, one for the resident nightly performance and one for visiting performers.
My
I
guests,
can't share
please.
the stage.
Not the way
Mr.
I do it.
Cesare would be eager to hear all of your suggestions. This is just things as they are right now. All things can be changed. Now, if you'll follow me, just beyond the medical facility, we have what was used as an old prison. Now we can repurpose this building to whatever we please. It is a very sturdy structure. It's held up all these years. We're currently in the process of renovating it out, of course.
I should hope it would need quite a bit of renovations. Not exactly the most appealing of floor plans in there, I'm sure.
Oh,
Oh,
absolutely.
I'm sure you could turn
although
it
we
into
were-
a theater.
That's an excellent
Probably.
idea.
It probably does have a lot of good bones. I mean, has good bones. You know, structurally.
Yes, it certainly does.
Yes, structurally.
Yeah.
We've heard a number of suggestions, perhaps repurposing it as a servant's quarters.
I'm taking that suggestion. I'm side-eyeing. I'm taking a good look at Penn's cane once again.
While that's happening,
So-
Jill says, or perhaps there are those in the world that enjoy a good fright or a good mystery place. So perhaps there's somewhere on the island that we could designate for those people that could come through and look for all the specters that they think there are.
Yes,
With a-
absolutely.
With a 14
so with a
perception
four-
roll, does anything look different about Penn's cane from
It
I
looks
saw it
a
last night?
little different than the last time that you saw it, yes.
So tell me, is this place not restricted to the high and nobles? Is this going to be open to
Well,
everyone?
It certainly could be restricted to the high-end nobles. That's all depends on what you wish to do with it as investors.
Why did you sound
Mr.
offended
Cesare.
by that notion?
I mean, I would assume anyone with the means to rent the space.
Absolutely.
It all spends
Of
the
course,
same.
there will
this
always
content.
need to be space for servants. We need people to maintain the facility, of course.
Yes, of course, but. And then Jill just kind of puts her head back down.
Now, just beyond the old prison facility, we have the main living quarters. Most of it is still under construction. However, 2 floors have been redone for all of our guests. State-of-the-art finery is at your fingertips, and each room is fully set up for all of the latest conveniences for all of you. Connecting directly to that is our grand meeting hall. Currently, Mr. Cesare has filled it with numerous treasures from his various expeditions, as well as some fine furniture and a state-of-the-art kitchen to serve everyone here. We'll be enjoying that later this evening. For now, we must show you the fields. And
Field.
yes, it seems the monks that used to live on the island many years ago used portions of it for farmland. We find that the earth is still quite fertile. You can still see some of the old growing rows. We're uncertain as to what to do with all of the land just yet, but in the meantime, Mr. Cesare is hard at work, planting, trying to get at least a year's worth of crops out of it.
I have to say, it's sounding less and less like this is a holiday destination and more like some sort of colony.
Well, it could be all kinds of things, sir. Mr. Cesare is not settled on a single use. That's why he's brought all of you here for ideas.
Does he not? That was explained like in 5 minutes. Do you not understand that? Do you not take that information in?
I mean, a small colony of this size would hardly be profitable. All the resources have long been stripped out of this place.
Not necessarily a colony.
Well, a
More-
vacation spot with only 14 theaters and nothing else wouldn't hardly be profitable either, now would it?
I am insight checking this little dude. It has gone long enough.
Well,
Yeah, he
A
seems
7!
Mr. Precht seems on the level.
Nothing strange about him.
This guy
Nothing
gets
weird
it.
about this guy.
Fair enough.
Now then, he leads you guys out, and there is a small bridge that crosses the canal that bisects, that splits the island's two portions. And as you guys cross this small bridge, it leads to this concrete pad that has a number of supplies set up. And there is a work shack there, and a bunch of workers are hard at work digging up the soil and preparing the land for new construction. And there is a small box full of various dirt-encrusted objects and stones and things that are next to the rest of the supply crates, as he walks up and says, "Now, as you can see, everything is hard at work here. We have our workers prepping the land for anything that could necessarily be done with it. Of course, as I told you, Mr. Cesari is wishing to plant in the land just for 1 year, and then after that we can strip it away and use and construct whatever we like. And I want our two doctor characters to make
Doctor,
a perception check. Doctor.
That's an 18.
that is a 13 from me.
Okay.
Now we know who's the better doctor.
Jill?
Than that.
Jill, there's a bone in this box. A small one, but it's clear.
All right. She kind of will go up to it and kind of point it, usher Pinton over and kind of point it out to him.
And his eyes go wide. So the rumors were true. And he'll just whisper that. He won't. It's like, it's only if you're close enough. So I assume only Jill hears if he stepped over there. But he's not hiding it, per se.
And she kind of looks at him and she says, "Indeed, they might be." Curious to
So
see.
Mr. Precht notices you guys kind of looking at this, and then his eyes go wide as he kind of notices what you guys are looking at. And Sekriti Ostatske! And a bunch of workers come over. And Nedate im dozanja.
I'm looking over at Nora and Lilith.
And the workers quickly gather up the box and take it away. And then once they're finished, he said, "Vrati se naposo." My apologies. They shouldn't be leaving refuge about.
Does it look like this land is being prepared to plant crops?
Yes.
Okay.
Perfectly all right. What is there?
Those
is
were
there much
all
else on
real
this?
words.
Yeah,
Practice all day.
sure.
Good job, Puck.
He could just be saying that. You don't know.
Mhm.
I believe in full-ass DMing, and I know he did it.
That's all right. So once he kind of shows that off, I want
Yeah, Jill's
all
just
of
kind
you.
like,
I will sidle up to Nora and remember what I was saying about reading people?
Mm-hmm.
Just keep an eye on this one. Let's see what we can find out, eh?
It's definitely not telling the whole truth.
Now, as various implements move through the soil, tilling it up and turning it up, I need everybody to make a wisdom save.
Oh,
Oh no.
Great.
Oh,
okay.
oh God!
I
got a
nat
21.
20.
That'll be
Yay!
a lucky 13 for me.
Oh
Oh,
no!
no.
I'm
Y'all
not
going
wise.
crazy.
Don't forget they
Does anyone
can't
else
see
hear
them.
an echo, or is it just me?
It might be roll 20.
Well, I'm
Oh, is
playing
it?
some sounds right now, too.
Okay.
Nora von Fehrenbach.
Yeah. Got a 2 for
Lilith,
chat.
you have a Twitch window open
Yes.
somewhere.
No, I have it. It was the roll 20.
As you look out at these various construction implements moving through the soil and churning up the earth, you blink for a moment and you can see this mass of human remains tumbling and turning in front of these plows as
Ooh.
the dirt and the blades of the plows turn slick with blood. And you can see that this is a field of bodies sticking up in all various directions, limbs and torsos and legs throughout this entire place. And you blink for a moment, and again it's gone. Please lose one of those points.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
It makes sense.
Oh.
She's having a bit of maybe a flashback of sorts, and for a moment sees her homeland in the soil.
For a moment.
And yes,
Sees
for a
her
moment
homeland.
she'll kind of get a little dizzy and stumble and like grab Kashano because that's who she was just near and kind of right herself for a moment.
Miss Fehrenbach, are you alright?
I'm fine. It was just the heat and the Italian sun. I'm not used to being this far south. I'm so
When
sorry.
I see her stumble, I'm gonna come over and kind of check her out and do just a medicine check just to see. It's a 17.
Remember, what season is it?
It is August.
Okay.
So it's hot. Yeah.
What'd you get for your medicine check?
17.
17? Okay. So you check her out. She's a bit rattled. The color has gone out of her face a little bit.
And I'm gonna kind of check her out. And just before I walk away, I'm gonna just kind of lean in and I'm gonna say, "You've clearly seen something," and then just walk away as if I never said it.
That's comforting. That'll help.
Did I hear that?
way to cool it off. I mean,
Was it loud
I mean,
enough that I
Pen-
would have heard, or was it a whisper in her ear?
It was a whisper. It was a very like.
And Mr. Wright, if you're rolling a 21, that person is definitely spooked.
I'll make a note of that.
Do some cocaine about it.
Do some cocaine about getting spooked.
That's how we're gonna get through this weekend. Just do some cocaine about it.
Okay.
So, eventually, Mr. Precht kind of reorganizes the group and says, "My apologies. I seem to have kept you out in the sun for far too long. Come with me. I shall take you to the ballroom. It'll nearly be time for Mr. Cesari's presentation, of course."
Nora, are you okay?
Yes.
Why is everyone surrounding you?
Just a little
I'm off
bit
somewhere
of
and I
dizziness.
turn right back up.
You know how
Oh,
it
my
gets
dear.
sometimes. Delicate sensibilities and all.
I'm gonna fan you. Here you go, darling. Let's get you cooled down and get you hydrated.
Let's get you dehydrated and then rehydrated, and then we apply the leeches.
The ones you didn't
Jill's
drink the
gonna,
night before.
As we're kind of walking to the ballroom, Jill's gonna kind of try to separate off Benton a little bit. And on the way there, she's gonna separate him off, and she's gonna be like, I don't think that we're in our kind of company on this journey.
Perhaps not, but I believe that anyone can be persuaded once they see enough of the truth.
Yes, but I don't know that this is going to. I don't know that we're going to have the chances to show them the truth here. I think we need to discover it for ourselves before we share some of the information we know. We don't want to worry them. They seem a bit timid, some of them. And then that one, she points at Kashano. She says, he's just loud.
He seems a bit of an opportunist to me, and an opportunist can always be provided with a new solution to the next big thing. Mayhaps what we find on this island may just be what he's looking for. As for her, and I gesture to Nora, she's already caught a glimpse into it, I believe. Maybe it won't be so hard to persuade them after all.
And that one, she just seems, she points at Lilith, she says, she just seems a bit rude. She seems
I've been rather nice, actually. You should have seen me last game.
You were rude to me at the end of last game.
Jabba says she seems to look down on others.
What was that?
Excuse me. My apologies as a pile of scrap metal and construction equipment comes crashing down. My apologies. I did not mean to startle.
I would hope you'd be more careful. Why is this construction still going on as guests have arrived?
What? Can we... What? What's on the screen? I'm sorry.
There's a thing in front of Lilith's face.
Oh, jeez. It's Stream Elements finally deciding to be a bit cooperative, but not entirely.
Okay.
Excellent.
I'm Deadpool!
Let us see if I can correct this. Just a moment.
Please, amazing Kashano.
My apologies. The work is ongoing. We are doing what we can.
How long?
We wanted to give you guys an opportunity to see the island and what it could be before we did too much development here, of course. The workers will not be here for the entire weekend. Most of them are finishing up what they've got here and departing, and we will have the island to ourselves, just the guests. We're in the midst of a change. They do a few weeks on and a few weeks off as part of the worker rotation. We don't want to work these poor men to death, of course.
Sure.
It'll be fine as long as you're paying them.
Oh, we are certainly paying them, but we decided to use the weekend for a rotation to make sure that the guests have the island to themselves. Everyone will be gone by this evening. Then we'll have it all to ourselves. We'll still have a servant crew around to take care of anything additional that you might require. And then a new crew will arrive on Monday.
Fascinating.
Very well then.
New crew. Interesting.
And you
So-
guys are taken to the ballroom. Oh, please continue.
No, I was just gonna ask, like, So when is this presentation? It's we've been here so long,
Miss-
and love to see our benefactor.
Miss Faulkner, the presentation will happen this evening over dinner. But I believe some of our guests are already arranged in the ballroom for cocktails. If you'd like to join us all, we can have something to drink and discuss before Mr. Pratti arrives to make his presentation. And
Very good.
Lovely.
he
Miss
leads
Fernbach,
you.
I'm sure that's do the trick, refresh you a bit.
Yes, I just need a drink. That's all.
Solve
It'll be fine.
every experience.
Doesn't
All
cause
right.
any problems whatsoever.
Not at all. Sure, you don't need to pick me up.
Okay.
So,
Darling, remember, you could always just have coffee.
It has
as
seemed
you
to
guys
do wonders
walk
for you.
towards the ballroom, you start to move past a series of fields, and there's a number of large trees, and you can catch glimpses of this field through the trees as you move past them. And as you look out into this field, as the trees pass one by one and you pass in their shadows, everybody make another wisdom save, please.
Damn you.
I'm gonna go crazy in the first hour of this.
Uh-oh.
Sean!
Get
Uh-oh.
exciting.
Uh-oh.
Oh, sorry.
Got a 9.
Oh.
What did everyone get?
Hey, time to go
Above a
you.
10 for me.
Again.
5.
So,
I'm just gonna
God.
dead faint, aren't I?
I got a 6.
I'll pick you
So-
up somehow.
I got a rock.
here's how this goes.
Okay.
Since 4 of you got below 10, I will allow you to pick someone to see this vision.
Wait, what?
Please
I'm
not
totally
me.
down for Penn to do it.
No, I'll see it. I'll see it.
I will go crazy.
The 2 doctors.
Doctor, please.
Who?
Doctor.
I vote Penn. I want to see Penn go crazy before this game ends.
I'm gonna take a little bit of those numbers then, because I've got a decent, whatever you call it, threshold.
Very well.
Anybody else got an input?
Votes?
I said my piece.
Don't either.
They both want it? Someone? No?
Alright. Nope.
Sky.
then
Sky
that's
can take it.
That's technically 2 for Sky. So, Penn, as you walk past and the shadows of the tree pass you over and over again, you glimpse between the trees, you can see men lined up in uniforms. And they have muskets on their backs. They draw their rifles and fire in unison into a crowd of unarmed people that collapse dead and vanish as you pass the last tree. Please lose 1 point.
And he'll go a little pale. And yeah, he'll jot down in his notebook something with shaky hands.
Now, you are brought to the ballroom now. In this enormous building, there are several skylights bringing in natural light. There's beautiful white marble columns, 3 on each side, kind of lining this place, with a massive open floor. There's an enormous fireplace towards the south side of the room, and over top of the mantle, there is a large rifle, and on top of the mantelpiece of the fireplace, there is a series of different unique and exotic items. You imagine these are things that Mr. Pratti has come across in his travels and collected. The wall-to-wall of this place is covered with shelves and cases full of these bizarre and exotic items from all around the world. And there are a number of red velvet couches laid out all over the place, and a few seating areas for people to sit and mingle towards the north side of the room, next to a pair of large exit doors that you imagine lead to the rest of the living quarters here. There is a smaller servants' entrance where people are coming out with trays of food. And then there is a gentleman operating a bar station there as well. You can see that the room is filled with various individuals, some of whom you met the previous evening at the Hotel Danieli, and a couple extras that you have never seen before. There is, of course, John Russell Turnbull, the American from Arkansas, who runs the Turnbull Petroleum Company. And then there are the Hound sisters, Sally, Tilly, and Maria. You also see Tulio Rodrigo is here. And then you see two other people that you do not recognize. A woman wearing a long, elegant blue dress, dressed very fancy and very formally. Long, dark hair. And a gentleman dressed up in a proper suit and tails. With a large top hat. He appears to be English. Sipping a drink by the bar. And Mr. Precht invites you all in and says, "Please, make use of all of our facilities. Feel free to mingle with the other guests. You may be outbidding them in the future. So be sure to, if you're sharing any ideas, keep the best ones for yourselves." And he tells you with a wink. Now then, I need to go collect my boss, Mr. Cesari. I'll see you all shortly before dinner. And Mr. Precht makes his exit.
I would like to speak to Mr. What was it? Rodrigo? Rodrigo?
Tulio Rodrigo.
Yes.
Tulio.
Senor Rodrigo. Senor Rodrigo. Pleasure to see you.
The amazing Cashano.
Yeah, seems you've got
It's
quite
a
an
pleasure
early
to see you,
start.
sir.
Got quite an
Yes,
early
and-
start. Made it here before us, did you?
Oh, of course. I told you, I wake up early. I like to go for a jog.
Jogging.
I was
Yes.
ready for the boats before the red boats were ready for me, my man.
Well, I suppose the early bird catches the best investments, does he not?
Indeed. You know, I am descended from conquistadors. It is important to keep yourself physically fit. You must be prepared for anything that life throws at you.
Sure. Make sure you're in great shape for when you inevitably die. What do you make of this place so far?
Well, they have a lot of land to work with. Some of the buildings are a little old. I would probably knock them down, but I think there's potential here.
Perhaps. Does it not concern you? The rumors.
There are many rumors about many places. Have you ever been to Spain? I could tell you rumors about Spain that would turn you white. Whiter than you are, my friend.
Well, that would be quite the task, wouldn't it? Yeah, I can't say that I've been outside of the, cosmopolitan areas. But I do worry about reputation, It's essentially all a man or a place or a venture has when it comes to turning a profit.
I see your point in this, but perhaps it's not a bad thing. From what I understand, the only people that stay away are the locals. So perhaps this is a place that is all our own, huh?
Perhaps. I hadn't heard a great deal about it before receiving the invitation. So, perhaps others haven't heard much either.
News is traveling faster these days. Let's make sure the news is all about how great our new island is.
Let's hope. So, already planning on buying in, are we? I noticed the...
Well, I don't want to
choice
tip
of
my
language.
hand. Not too early, anyways.
Of course not.
But I am interested.
Lighter subject, perhaps. And point to the woman in the blue dress. Have you become acquainted with her quite yet?
No, but I certainly hope I get to.
Is she unescorted?
Unescorted, I hear she is Parisian.
Well then. Perhaps we should make our acquaintance.
Oh, you're welcome on your own, and then after you crash and burn, I shall sweep up the remains.
I'll take that challenge.
Good luck, my friend. Of course, I do not mean that.
Naturally. Give him a little tip of the hat. Like.
Jill's
I
gonna
really
go up
like
to
Tulio.
Pintan.
I've really grown to love him.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jill, where are you going?
Jill's going up to Pintan. She says, she kind of sidles over. She says, just casually, I know you saw something.
I believe it would be hard not to see anything here based on what I saw. However, I will admit it was not what I was hoping.
2 questions. 1, what were you hoping for? And 2, what did you actually see?
I was hoping to find a place where perhaps the spirits were around but more at peace. What I saw were perhaps as far from that as you can get. Innocents slain. Or at least I presumed they were.
Innocence?
There are rumors. I'm not sure. I've heard rumors that this place had a plague come in long ago on 2 ships. Those people were killed indiscriminately and buried in mass. I wonder
You
not
heard
if
they were
that's
buried in
accurate.
mass. Interesting. I heard they were burned, along with all their belongings.
Interesting. Either way, that field surely is full of more bones than just what we saw. But I'm interested to
Yes.
see what Miss Ehrenbach has to say about what she saw.
Yes, she didn't seem particularly willing to share that knowledge, however. Or even the fact that she saw something. Perhaps she is not, maybe not necessarily not a believer, but perhaps she doesn't share our affinities.
Maybe not. But honeyed words can go a long way to making someone feel a lot more comfortable. And when
They
you're in
can.
our business, as I presume, as you've revealed yourself to be, then you must know how to make people feel comfortable with what we do, else scare them off.
And Jill says, Jill kind of leans in and she says, yes, honeyed words. What a better way to honey words than with honeyed whiskey? And she'll kind of walk off toward Nora.
Nora's at the bar. Nora's already beaten you because she was gonna start drinking. So she's at the bar, just so you know.
Nora's at the bar.
Nora's probably
as-
half a drink in by now.
I'll kind of
as-
come up, and I'll order one of whatever Nora's having.
What are you having, Nora?
Probably wine. It's red wine. I'm very classy and don't drink a lot.
That's
Okay,
fine.
never mind. I won't order one of what she's having.
There's you a fine red wine.
She passes it to Nora and says, "A second glass on me."
Drinks half of it. Thank you. Thank you.
You seem to have had quite a fright out there.
It was nothing. It was the heat and a trick of the sunlight.
Indeed. Orders Nora another glass of wine. And it just kind of sits patiently.
This is like,
Nora-
let's get you some more medicine.
Yep. How drunk do I want to get? She's drinking steadily. She hasn't quite downed it. She downed the first two, but evening out now.
It's getting okay. All right. So Jill, after you departed Penton, John Russell Turnbull ran up. He's like, "Is that you, Mr. Wright? Shit, I'm amazed you can stand."
Yes, Mr. Turnbow, last night was quite a turn of events, and I do believe I owe you an apology if you were still around, as I was rattling on about my walking staff here. You see, I seem to have been under the impression that this was my grandmother, pointing at the skull, but that would be absurd.
Don't worry about it. Weird things happen when you get too much of the devil's juice in you. Well, I used to have a cousin, he'd talk to his boots.
Oh, what an interesting conversation.
Called them Larry and Harry. Of course, that was only after he had a few himself.
Of course. So, Mr. Turnbow, without revealing too many secrets, what are you looking at this island for, if you don't mind my asking? I promise to keep
I got a couple ideas. I wasn't entirely certain. I think I like the idea of a European resort. Sounds like a fancy place to go. Wouldn't mind something like that for my own. But when I got out here and they showed me them farmland, did you see those fields that they had out there? God damn, that takes me back. My pappy used to have a beautiful farm like that before we got into the petroleum game, you see. We used to have fields as far as the eye could see. We grew alfalfa sprouts in there and all kinds of things, really. And that takes me back, and I took a handful of that stuff. We got good organic soil here. You don't find that kind of thing. Be kind of ashamed to till that up, put it to waste. I wonder if I could buy that up and sell it back home. What do you think?
I believe that soil is probably very organic, although I'm not sure what the reason for that would be. I would want to...
And I bet you there's a few Yankees that'll buy up a pile of real organic European soil.
Oh, people will buy anything with the right title on it. You could sell soil from your backyard with that title and someone would buy it.
Yeah, but that's my soil.
Yes, you Americans and your homeland, I understand. I'm not bitter about it, though. Sometimes you have to leave home.
So began the transatlantic dirt trade.
Transatlantic dirt trade. It's going down. So I got a couple ideas. Of course, I don't want to tip the scales. You didn't get as far in business as me by letting people peek all through your unmentionables, as it were. Now, what do you got in mind, Mr. Wright?
It's quite simple, Mr. Turnbow. My family has suffered in England recently. It's gotten very, very frigid recently. The Great Frost and all, I'm sure you've heard. Across the pond.
Oh yeah, I heard about that. You ought to try living where I'm at. You don't get no frost at all.
Yes, this is a little bit closer though. You know, we still have family and our business, of course, so this would not be too terribly far to make a second home in, at least until this terrible business blows over.
Yeah, it certainly is real warm out here. Almost like home.
Of course. Where do you call home, Mr. Turnbow?
Oh, I'm from Arkansas.
See. Never made my way over there, but I hear it is lovely.
Yeah, it's good. If you ever get out there, I can show you the Turnbull petroleum fields.
An oil man. I do remember you telling me all this. I'm sorry. The absinthe must have...
Oh, that's all right. I drank like you. I'd be surprised if I could remember my own name.
Of course. Well, Mr. Turnbow, I have one last parting question for you. Call it an eccentricity, if you will. Would you like to, and he pulls out a deck of elongated cards from his coat pocket, and he's like, would you like to draw a card of fate and see what it has to say for you?
Oh, I know this one. You're gonna guess which one I'm holding, right? I love these.
Why not? Just draw, sir. And he'll pull out the card.
Sure, I'll draw one of those. All right. It's okay if I look at it. Sometimes they don't let you look at it.
We'll both look
Okay,
at
I'm looking at it.
This is the Queen of Swords, sir. The professional. Which happens to tell me a lot more about you, but I suppose I already knew that. It lends
Well,
itself
I
to
am a
someone
professional.
of a strong business nature who knows what they're doing and knows which way they are going at all times. It is a
Yep.
good card to have.
Right
in your
now, I'm
hand.
going over to one of them snack trays. But it's good talking to you, Mr. Wright.
Of course. Enjoy the party.
You
And
too.
he'll tuck the deck back away. And he'll
He
go make
takes
a note
off.
in his book.
Before we go back to Jill and Nora, Lilith, is there anyone you want to mingle with here?
You're above everyone.
I was just so engaged with listening that I didn't really think about what I was doing.
Okay. Amazing Kishano, you approach this woman.
Ah, yes.
Would
Bonjour,
want to buy
madame. Or dare I say, mademoiselle?
I don't want to buy any.
Oh, no, of course not. And flower disappears and turns into a card. Please, allow me to introduce myself.
Oh.
The Amazing Kashano. And,
The Amazing Kishano.
it says... Yeah. Mentalist, illusionist, spiritualist.
A self-awarded title, then.
More of a stage name.
I see. And she unclasps a small silken purse and places the card inside and clasps it again.
And
So, are
Would I
you
be-
selling something, Mr. Kishano? Is there something I can do for you?
simply mingling. Represent some...
Oh, you're a guest.
Yes, of course.
Oh,
Of course I'm a guest.
I thought some vagrant had perhaps wandered in. I thought it was rather impressive. You must have had to swim.
Right.
Like
Got to be a
shaken
twin
to
there.
his
I
core.
like this lady. I like this lady.
I'm sorry, I don't believe we've been introduced.
Yes, you're the Amazing Kishano. I haven't introduced myself.
Right.
I am Francesca Simone. And it is a pleasure for you to meet me.
Well, that is yet to be seen. Do you harbor particular financial interests in this place, or are you merely set dressing?
That remains to be seen.
Hmm.
Certainly there is perhaps some more potential in here. I could use a hideaway to get away from the rabble.
Yes, well, you may want to be careful where you hide, or more, what you hide. There are things said about this place.
Well, those of us who sit upon the top don't have to worry about what to hide. We're up there for all to see, Mr. Kishano.
Hmm.
Those who lurk down below have the shadows to depend on.
Oh, and depend on the shadows we do. Well, it's certainly been something. Enjoy your evening.
You as well.
And
Yes.
as I is she? I suppose she's not like carrying a purse or anything, is she?
Well, she has a small silken
Does she-
clasp that she's holding in
Does
both
she have
hands.
any nice jewelry?
Oh, yes. She's got a lot of nice jewelry.
Yes. I'm going to exit by walking past her a bit close, perhaps brushing against her, and perhaps taking a bracelet with.
All right, sir. Sleight of hand, please.
Gladly. Will a 22 do it?
Sir, you acquire a small silver bracelet hanging loosely from one of her wrists.
Fantastic. Yes. Oh, stuck that into a pocket there.
After you step away and pocket that, Tulio comes over to you and be like, "My friend, I got frostbite from here."
Yes, good luck with that one, chap. I'm going to have a drink.
All the same, I think I shall sit this one out. Thank you for taking the bullet.
Yeah. No problem at all.
Lilith, what would you like to do? After you've
Can't
watched
believe you
this
did that to
woman
her.
eviscerate Kashano.
Actually, Lilith wants to take a look around at the collection to see if there's anything that looks very old compared to everything else that he's has.
You may certainly do so. So as you
Guess I gotta
walk
roll
around,
perception.
Yeah, give me a perception check. Why not? Roll a dice.
No, I take it back. No, tell me what you're gonna say.
No, do your thing.
No.
Too late now. It's
Okay.
too late, baby. Yeah, it's too late.
All right, perception, right?
Yes, please.
I should have tweaked Lilith and actually been a little bit more wiser.
Yeah, I feel that.
So
Feel that.
you are looking around.
I clicked twice, my bad. God damn it.
It's all right. You are pawing
It happens.
through things. And just looking around at the different cabinets and things, and the gentlemen all dressed up in coat and tails and proper Englishman's dinner attire comes over to you as you're looking through these cases. You can see there are a number of different items, artifacts from all over the place. There's carvings, there's pottery, there are pieces very clearly like ripped from existing structures, broken off and then brought home in the classic fashion of 1800s archaeology. Where rich Europeans went to places and just took whatever they wanted. So there are a number of those things kind of scattered about in here, and this gentleman all dressed up in his finery comes over and says, "Oh, this is a fine collection, I would say. It reminds me of some that I've seen back home. He's clearly got an eye for the fine things in life. Wouldn't you agree, Miss Cantante?"
Sure. History has many fascinating tales. So I wonder
Indeed.
what the stories are behind these.
Oh, I'm sure there's a number of them. I intend to bend Mr. Pratty's ear for most of the evening to collect them all. I'm a bit of an adventure enthusiast, as they say.
Adventure enthusiast. Trying
Absolutely.
to...
My father used to regale me of the golden age of the Empire, where he used to go out on expeditions across this fine world and acquire all manner of things. I dare say this Mr. Pratti reminds me of myself as a young boy, enamored with the idea, before the woes of business came to weigh heavy on my shoulders, of course.
That sounds exciting. Now, please, indulge me with your knowledge of these artifacts. Anything here look Like they came from the time of the Roman Empire?
Oh, certainly a few things like that around here. You can find them. You can barely walk around Italy without tripping over the bloody things. They're all over the place. Oh, but I haven't properly introduced myself. My apologies. I'm Sir Hubert of Grandham. It's a pleasure to
Sir
meet you.
Hubert.
Yes.
Lilith Cantante. Hand over my...
Yes, I know you by your reputation, madam. It's a pleasure to meet you in person. Yes, I believe
Oh, boy.
we did not live too far from your family's estate before you got married off to that Italian gentleman.
Oh. Are you familiar with my father? Back over in England?
Well, I'm ashamed to say that I never properly met him. I didn't spend much time going out to see the neighbors. As a young boy, my mind was filled with flights of fancy, always wanting to travel offside the island and go to the various corners of the empire, you see.
I see. And are you acquainted with the, what is his name again? Starts with a C.
Mr. Cesari?
Correct.
No, I've never met him myself. I merely know him by reputation, of course. But I am eager to do so. I'll probably be speaking with him for most of the evening.
Oh, I see.
But when he does come out, perhaps the two of us could ask him about these artifacts. I imagine he has a number of stories to share.
Perhaps.
Excellent. I'm positively giddy
Well.
at the prospect.
I'm still looking at the artifacts and whatnot, just trying to look.
Very well.
I get frustrated
continue.
and I'll... Okay, go ahead.
You continue to look through the artifacts in the company of Sir Hubert. Meanwhile, Jill and Nora, a couple drinks in at this point,
Couple drinks in.
having mingled.
At a certain point in the very, like, before she actually went, like, at the very early in this process, Jill would
Mhm.
wait till the bartender is kind of off by himself, and come over to him and say, can you do me a favor? There's
Yes,
sounds
what?
happening.
What is it?
It's fine. And she'll pass him a 20, and she'll say, can you, only water for me all weekend. But I need to be kind of discreet about it. Reputations and that sort
It
of
is an
thing.
open bar, madame.
No, I understand that. But I'm saying, just, if anyone asks.
As you
and
wish, madame.
just, drinking vodka all weekend.
Of course, madame. I shall prepare a special bottle for you to keep up appearances.
Thank you. You can make it just in, probably the worst, cheapest thing you can find that no one in their right mind would possibly drink.
We don't have any of that stuff here, madame.
Well, best we find a bottle.
Mr. Cesari was very strict about the placement of all of the materials for this meeting.
Of course he was. And then she'll just walk away
All right.
and go sit back down next to Nora.
I'm gonna go.
You did not notice that she left me at all.
I'm gonna go
So-
catch Penn, if I
Oh,
can, if he's not occupied with any other conversation.
Well, you head over to catch up with Penn, and at that moment, the two large doors that lead towards the living quarters fly open, and a gentleman dressed in a proper suit steps out next to Mr. Precht and says, "Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Pavalia, the future of European decadence. And I hope that all of you will have time to open your minds and perhaps your wallets as you take a look at what this beautiful island has to offer. I am Cesare Pratti, and it is a pleasure to welcome you all to my presentation." Now we're going to take a break right there.
Welcome to Ghost Rassic Park. Quick point of order. Is his surname Cesare or his surname Pratti? What language is his name
is
in?
Pratti.
Okay.
His first name is Cesare.
Okay. I just want to make sure I don't address him right.
Yes.
I got no idea what's going on, guys. How about you? We'll be back in 15 minutes.
Did I startle anybody with my collapsing scrap metal?
That was me.
Yeah, I thought it was real.
Ew.
Mhm.
I thought my life was over.
I was thinking your cat got into something and knocked over shit. I'm like, oh, it's a bad kitty.
John, are
No,
you
I
muted?
had that.
Hey,
I
y'all.
had that tagged and ready to go.
Yeah. Well, everybody, you enjoying the behind the scenes, looking between the things, looking between the universes? I seen a few peeks between the universes. I'm not gonna tell these guys what's going on quite yet. They're gonna have to find out the hard way. But hey, Puck, there. Why don't you tell us who we're playing with? What's going on that front?
Hello. I'm a very lucky dungeon master, in that I get to play with all these incredible people who do all kinds of things on the internet, and I like to take this moment to allow them to talk about the things that they do. And we're going to start with Jill Faulkner today. What do we got going on, Jill?
Hey, what's up? Yep. Trash bin is a thing that exists, and it's real cool and it's real fun. And you should come check it out on Tuesday nights and other various nights that we do things. Watch Trash
We do
Bin.
video game stuff. Yeah, watch Trash Bin. We do video game stuff over there. We did Clue. We watched Clue. We had a watch party.
We
for
watched
Clue,
Clue
yesterday.
last night. Yeah. It was great.
It was fun.
Sky had
Ken
never seen it.
Yeah, but he's
It
seen it
was
now.
It was real weird, but it was fun. Like the best kind of weird.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, Penton, what you got going on?
Howdy. I've been playing Baldur's Gate. I was actually trying to record more of that today and kept dying, and it just wasn't good. So I'm going to try to cobble something together out of that footage. I'll see what comes out of that. But that'll be on my channel sometime soon. So go check me out on YouTube at Knock from the Sky. And when I'm not there, I'm here doing stuff or on Trash Bin with them doing other stuff. So, yeah.
All right. The amazing Kashano, what have you got going on?
Normally, I'm the one who dies here on Mercs of Mischief. But I gotta put that alert. I gotta update the commands there. Sorry, thanks, Karis.
Just sitting there.
Yeah, no, I'm produce stuff over here. Sometimes I play in stuff. We got some other projects in the works. But we've got some really cool things happening over here, which I'm sure Puck will tell you about. Special guest show coming up. If you want to know, all of the details of things that are happening and get news in real time and chat with us, be sure to join our Discord. I think most of the people here know. I'll just pass it along.
Nora, what's going on with you?
Hi. I'm Arcady, and this week I should take photos for Halloween tomorrow. I'm going to do that. And then share photos for Halloween. That's what's going on this week, because it's the end of October. And Aside
Yes.
from that, you can find me here every Sunday playing in the non-alternative universe Mercs game. Although I guess we are in the alternative universe during the Mercs game. It's very confusing. But I'm here every Sunday, regardless of where our characters physically are.
Yes.
Indeed.
It's an excellent summary.
Yep.
Lilith, what do you got going on?
Sup? What? So I'm focusing on an animatic, doing less gaming at the moment. I'm hoping to hop back in when I can. You'll probably find me more on YouTube rather than my Twitch, because that's when I game, is like just before bed. So if you guys are a fan of Final Fantasy VII or this new game that I'm trying out called Genshin Impact, which has been entertaining so far, hop on by. It's Bonnie Mel, Dipper Dog. Don't ask why there's two names. The thing happened and I'm kind of stuck with them. But look for the lady with pink hair. That's me. I missed having pink hair.
Well, you can bring it back out again anytime.
It's so expensive.
Wigs. Get wigs. You can change your hair in 30 seconds.
Not the same. But that's true too.
So thank you so much, those of you who are joining us. This is going to be a mini series, so we're going to run this out for a couple episodes until it's done, and then we're going to move on to the next genre project, where we'll throw these people into different skins and different scenarios, different places. Are we going to go on a sci-fi space adventure? Are we all going to be pirates? Are we going to solve mysteries in like 1920s Chicago? Who knows?
Who knows?
You
Are we all
guys will
gonna
be
die
able to decide.
in the
Every
first or
time.
second session of those things?
Apparently.
Probably.
I'm so torn. If we do a space one, I don't know whether to do another version of Kashana or to do Larch as a droid.
I thought you were gonna play Lucathor.
So,
Damn it.
we have all of that.
Apparently
coming down the
not.
pipe.
Say that I'm so.
So
Until
you can
now.
look forward to that stuff. And if you want to be part of the conversation, have a say about what we do with these things coming out. We do polls on our Discord. So those of you who aren't in there already, you can get in there and you participate in the polls. And then you can tell us what you want to see for our next short project that we put out. Also, want to remind everybody, on the 7th of November, remember, we are doing a special The Hearts of Darkness 2, featuring our friend of the show, Joe Cat, friend of the show, Dingo Doodles, and friend of the show, Felix, all coming back together again with our very own Penitent Rite to do an evil campaign once again. So you can join up with all of them in all of that. And that'll be happening on the 7th. So stay tuned. Now then. Yes, I know. We can't do this right now. Okay.
This island infested with cats.
the island of cats.
I'm
So,
investing on
what
Cat Island.
I mean,
we already
Speaking
did
of
that
Cat
series. I gotta come
Island,
back to that next
There
year
is a
too.
one shot. If you want to see that? Maybe
I
there'll
wasn't
be
part
a
of
card
it.
right here.
We got
I
to
don't
Wait,
know.
what about the dog one? I'm still waiting for the dog
The-
shot.
We could do a dog island. Felix expressed an interest in a dog island. All right. So, let's get back into the game. When last we left everybody, you had been invited to the island of Poveglia, and you have been escorted around the island by Mr. Precht. And Mr. Precht has taken you guys to the ballroom, where you've had a chance to mingle with some interesting characters that are here. Some of them are nicer than others. Other ones maybe not so nice. And finally, the host of the party, Mr. Cesare Pratti, has arrived. And Cesare Pratti has stepped forward and introduced himself to you all and welcomed you all to the island. First of all, thank you so much to everybody for coming out to see me. I see a lot of interesting faces out here. Now, as many of you may know, I am a futurist. I believe that we are on the cusp of a changing world. We are tossing aside our primitive understandings, and we are grabbing hold of what we can really accomplish as the great human race. We've mastered electricity, which we are now using to light this very building. There are new machines and new conveniences that await our modern world. And I want the island of Poveglia to be at the forefront of these things, whatever forms they may take. That's why I've invited you here, the finest people from various fields and interests, and financial influence, of course, to come to this island, to see it as a blank canvas, and see what it can truly be, and give you all a chance to make a mark on the world. So, spend some time with me this evening. We will be doing a number of activities throughout to show you all of the possibilities that Pavalia has to offer. And should you have any ideas or anything that you wish to discuss with me, please feel free to do so. It is a pleasure to have you all here, and I look forward to seeing what you wish to paint upon the canvas of Pavalia. Now then, let us eat and drink, for tonight is a night of celebration. And there is a smattering of applause from the people at the party as everybody begins to have drinks and mingle, and servants start bringing out sections of table and setting up a dining area.
Yeah, I'm going to sidle up over to Mr. Wright.
Mm-hmm.
Say, that woman in blue, there's something off about her, something dark. Have you noticed anything?
I will readily admit, Mr. Kashano, that I have not given her much thought. However, I can definitely tell that she seems to be at the very least more of the debutante type, given the end of the conversation I just happened to glance over and see you having with her.
Oh, well, I'm not sure that you witnessed quite everything I did. I think there's something a bit more sinister going on. Perhaps it deserves your particular brand of investigation.
I really want to insight check.
Go for
Typical man
would
gets
not-
rejected and thinks that the woman has some issues.
She's a witch!
Not quite where I'm going with it, but that's cool.
He was not talking to me like this a minute ago. Where did this come from with a 17 insight?
No.
Oh, beats my 13 deception, I guess. Yeah, he's definitely setting you up.
Mr. Kashano, I do believe there may be dark forces at work here. However, I believe at a glance my time would be wasted on her.
All right, look,
If you
she's a
would
haughty
like to-
bitch, and it would be fun if you creeped her out.
Ah, I see.
Just went for it.
Let me ask you, Mr. Kashano, would you find that endearing if I were to do this for you?
I would find it entertaining, I can say that for sure.
I'll look at it as an investment then. Perhaps maybe later on you'll be able to entertain me. And he'll
Perhaps.
saunter on over to this woman in blue. And he will. I don't know. I guess from his upbringing, he'll do whatever he did whenever he met other of the higher class, which he was like kind of a part of, kind of not. And he'll take off his hat and bow. Hello, my lady. My name is Penithan. Who's Penithan? My name is Penton Wright of the Wrights Parchment Company, group, family, heir, whatever.
Oh. I had hoped perhaps you were a member of those Wright brothers. I hear they're doing something interesting.
Yes, they are, but no, madam, I am of no relation to them, sadly. Although I wish I could be.
So what's with the staff?
just-
Are you supposed to be some kind of sorcerer?
Oh, hardly, madam. This is but an effect of mine. Just something interesting. We try to keep things rather eccentric over in dear old England,
Well, where I come
speaking
from, a
of
proper gentleman carries a cane.
Well, it's a cane of sorts. It just has a higher grip.
For such a short man.
Well, I mean,
Damn. I feel bad.
Like you guys, like Francesca, doesn't fuck around.
well, madam, if we were all tall, we'd have no need for hats, now would we?
I suppose so.
However,
As she stares
I
at your
did
hat.
come over here. Yes, it's nice, isn't it? I did come over here though with a query in mind, ma'am. If you might indulge me, so again, as a bit of an eccentric myself, would you be willing to pull a card?
Well, you've been
from
here
my
this long.
deck? I have. Would you fancy a pull at my deck? That sounded so much worse than it was supposed.
And there it is.
Oh my
Can we put
god.
that on a shirt?
We're just gonna ride that one out.
Just Pen fanning out cards like, fancy a pull at my deck.
Clip it now. Someone try to clip it. It's not too late.
Woo!
She turns and walks away.
Fair enough. Fate is not for all of us, I suppose. And I'll turn around to Kashano and I'll just be like,
I asked her if she wanted to pull on my deck.
It's like all the music stops and everybody stares.
It's that thing where it's like the lull between the song ends right as you like say something.
It's weird that keeps happening.
I know.
I don't.
So,
Jill loves it. Jill is all about it. Jill has seen two people go up to. Jill has seen two people go up to this woman, and she's like, she's seen them both just kind of be defeated, and so she's kind of like, what is this woman's story? Like, I have questions.
A new
And so she's gonna kind of look, she's gonna kind of look to Nora, and she's gonna say, this storm is quite lovely. And then she's gonna get up and walk towards the woman with the blue dress. She's gonna walk up to her, and she's gonna kind of dip low, and she'll say, "Good evening, ma'am."
a little bit of respect, I see.
If there's one thing I know, it's my place.
And what is your place?
Here, I'm not quite sure. I have yet to figure out why I was invited this weekend. It's Jill Faulkner. And she'll kind of extend a hand.
Francesca Simone.
Lovely to meet you.
Yes, I imagine it
I
is.
really appreciated how you talked to that one. And she points at Kashano.
Well, you'll find that after you reach a certain stature in society, if you do not have a man at your side, these creatures scurry out from every corner in an attempt to take some piece of you.
Yes, I have not reached any stature in society, quite as you say, but as a woman of science, I understand people thinking you should or shouldn't do certain things. And she'll say, what do you think of the storm? I imagine there's a window somewhere nearby that you can kind of...
Oh, yes. Well, hasn't gotten too bad just yet, but I imagine it may pick up. Thank goodness we do not have to go outside to get to our living accommodations. I hope that it passes by the time morning comes.
Yes, for everyone else's sake, I hope it passes in the morning, but I do love a good storm. The lightning and thunder. Never knowing what it's going to turn into. I find it quite exhilarating.
Yes. Perhaps some similarities to what we're experiencing now. Who knows what this party or this island will turn into? Currently, all I see are want-to-be mystics, vagrants, and a hooded mystery woman who has decided to come speak to me.
I assure you, the hood is, as I said, to remind me of my place.
Very
The
well.
mystery is another thing entirely.
Well, I hope that all mysteries will be solved by the time it is time to leave this place, or else I will not be able to make any informed decisions about anything.
She says, as do I. Personally, I'm going to do my best to discover what these mysteries hold here. And then she'll say, I bid you adieu. And she'll kind of bow back away. And then wait for like a split second to see if she says anything, and then if not, she turns, walks away.
Yeah, she does kind of a haughty turn and goes back to mingling about and judging people.
Yep. And then Jill
Lilith?
is find a window somewhere and just stand there.
Just gonna watch the rain. All right. Anybody else have anything to want to interact with?
I was going to rejoin Nora and Lilith.
Okay. Sure.
Down with that?
Lilith, what up?
Asari is at the table with us, right?
Well, the table's being set out. The dinner has not yet started. You guys have a little bit more time as they set everything up.
Where's Asari?
Mingling about. It's just moving about.
You guys may follow or mingle, but Lilith is heading over to Sasari.
Yeah, I'm gonna follow Lilith like a bit of a lost puppy.
Oh,
Because I am a lost puppy.
If they
Have
get
a
up
chest
before I make
door.
it there, I'll check in with the Hound Sisters.
All right. Miss Cantante, Miss Fehrenbach. It's a pleasure to meet both of you.
Yes, it's good to finally meet our mysterious host.
I'm glad you accepted my invitation.
I'd
We
be rude if
often
we
don't
didn't.
in my family.
Well, then this is a nice surprise for everyone. So, what do you think of Poveglia?
Warm?
interesting.
Not as
There's a
developed as
lot.
I thought it would be.
Yeah, a lot of work needs to be done here from what we've seen so far.
Well, of course. I would not argue with you. But that's why I brought you here. Now, I could turn over the island, bulldoze everything, maybe put up a hotel or something, but I wanted to get some more ideas.
Or
I wanted to
that, you
get
said,
some
continue.
people to take a look. And take a look at this blank canvas and see what it has to offer. I think that we're headed for a period of great unity in Europe. I think that it only makes sense to bring in people from all over the world and put ideas together in one place and see what it can become as a beacon to the rest of the world.
It's a very noble philosophy, senor.
Thank you very much. I believe in the future, and I believe that we must always look forward. We are on the edge of great things. As a human race, we are on the edge of great things. You can all feel it.
As a human race, we're known for destruction more than anything else, really.
Yes,
Putting
but the
too much hope in
wonders
this
we
idea.
create in that destruction. Any day now, man will fly. We have light without fire. We are shrugging off our primitive ideas every day. I want this place to be the epicenter of that. I want it to be where new ideas can flourish and grow. This is why I purchased it from the Venetian government.
You must have a lot of money. I've
I've
heard
done pretty
rumors
well.
that you haven't started so wealthy.
My family was on rough times when I was young. But I had a nose for adventure. It has given me opportunities that not everyone has.
And you have no ideas for the island yourself. I mean, as such
I have
a man
ideas,
of
but
good philosophy, you can't think of anything that you would prefer to do with it?
Miss Fahrenbach, if I were to do only what I want to do with this island, it would only reflect me. I want this island to reflect all of us. That's why I've brought so many people here. I want it to be a reflection of the best that this world has to offer. And I cannot put all of that on me, although I am pretty incredible, you must admit. But he says that with kind of a wink.
It is
Definitely.
an odd assortment of people, though. I mean, spiritualists? Really?
Haha.
That's not very scientific of you.
Just between us. See, most Italians, they won't come to this island. It has a dark past. But if I bring some mystics in here, they perform a ritual or two. Maybe after I pay them a little bit. All the spirits are put to rest, and everybody has no more of these fears. And this island can grow as it needs to. Sometimes you must dispel the past, so you can look to the future. People believe what they want, and sometimes it requires a little show.
These
The
spirits,
sentiment I understand.
have they done anything? These spirits that you speak of?
Goodness, Miss Cantante, the spirits are not real.
Give me a fright.
No, these are superstitions. Nothing more. I have had
They
workers
can't
on this island for weeks. None of them have experienced anything.
Superstition or not, every story has some kind of truth in it.
If you go around Europe looking for a place without a dark past, you're going to find your way off the island real quick. It's just, it does not exist. We are a
Many
continent
things
bathed in blood.
Many things that we cannot see happens to exist, sir. For example, there have been tales told that there's holy water that miraculously cure people's disease. Doctors have yet to know why.
Well,
So there are things such as miracles that happen.
if we
I
can
wouldn't
get that
dismiss-
water, we should make it available in Poveglia. For
I
everybody
just
who
take
comes.
Lilith. I take Lilith's arm and I, as reassuring as I can possibly sound, attempt to say, Miss Lilith, there's no such thing as ghosts. It's not
Yes.
quite convincing, though.
See? Just as Miss Ferenbach said, we have to discard our old primitive thinkings. We cannot be afraid of spirits or whatever lurks in our closets or under our beds. We are not children anymore. Mankind has grown out of its infancy. It is time to look forward. I'm sure you can understand. Besides,
I understand what you're saying. Yes?
I do not wish to be rude, but you of all people should know the damage that rumors can do.
Quite so.
So it is best that we dispel them and say that there is no credence to them whatsoever. Don't you agree?
Agree to disagree.
Very well.
I'm like gripping Lilith a little bit because I'm a little afraid she's gonna lunge.
Don't attack! Don't attack!
But before I go, sir,
Yes.
I would like to know more about the man, as much as you like to know about our interests. All these
Absolutely.
collections that you have here,
Yes.
which one is your favorite? Which one is special to you?
I will show you. Come this way. And he walks you over to a cabinet. He says, I was on an expedition in the Ottoman Empire not too long ago. And I came across this little fellow. And it is a statuette of carved stone. And the figure is winged and has a bizarre looking head. It's almost goat-like.
A demon?
Who's to say what it is? Some long forgotten civilization carved it many years ago. But I can tell you one thing. I was sick, was not well at all. But when I come across this, I kept it. And shortly thereafter, I started to recover. Now, if I was more superstitious, I would tell you it's because it is a lucky charm. But I had some good doctors, and they took care of me. They gave me an experimental injection, and everything went well after that. But still, it is quite a memory to hold on to.
Do you feel like your life's changed after you acquired this statue?
No, I can hardly say that it has. Besides getting well from my illness, of course. But,
Did you ever fallen ill after?
I've had the
Or have you
odd
been in
cold,
good
of
health?
course. I've been in good health these days. Miss Cantante, you are not to suggest that perhaps this is some kind of magic idol.
There are many unexplained things in this world.
Well,
So, you never know.
Miss Cantante, I am willing to agree with you that there are unexplained things in this world. But I wish you would agree with me that Pavalia should be a place where we explain them. Wouldn't that be nice?
It would be interesting.
To dispel superstition and turn it into fact. What a gift for the world.
To explain some unexplainables. It would
Yes.
put some minds at ease.
What more noble endeavor? I ask you. Now then, the tables are almost set. Let us prepare for dinner. I have quite a menu lined up.
Yes, this
I've brought in
conversation
fine
has me
cooks.
quite parched.
Oh, of course. Do you like confections? We have some fine baked goods for desserts. I have a bit of a sweet tooth myself.
Excellent. Well,
And
Noah,
he splits off and starts talking to like 9 other people who are waiting for him.
There's like a line forming over.
yeah. It's just like
I'm
people
gonna-
waiting in line.
Get my fan, cover my face, and be near Nora and be like,
I don't like him.
I can tell. Do you like anyone?
I like you. You're my friend.
You're my friend too.
Aw.
Oh, such a sweetheart. Well, don't know who else that we can trust around here, so best we stick together. Shall we eat?
There's not very many people like us here.
I don't know. The lady in the blue dress seems to fit in our style.
Circle.
Circle, style, circle, potato, potato.
There's Lord Hubert.
This is true.
Sir Hubert.
Sir Hubert. Yeah, but he didn't really tell me anything I wanted to know.
It's like, are you of my station and are you useful? It's like,
pretty much.
Those are the check boxes. So.
Yep.
all right. So the
Yep.
tables are laid out and dinner's getting prepared. You still have a couple more minutes. Kashana, you wanted to talk to the Hound sisters.
Yes.
Sally, the oldest sister, intercepts you the moment you get close. Ah, the amazing Kashano. Good to see that you made it over.
You as well. It seems the weather's taken a turn for the dramatic. Are you planning any sort of demonstration for the evening?
I wouldn't say we're planning a demonstration, but if the spirits call out to us, we will answer, of course.
Of course. Let me ask you, have you spoken with our new acquaintance, Mr. Wright, over there?
We met briefly.
What do you make of him?
Well, he is either a true believer, or he's better than you.
Fair enough. And what of the scientist? I kind of nod over to Jill at the window.
An unusual one.
Huh.
But I find that most Germans are.
Well, suppose you're not as good at reading people as your reputation would precede. She's English.
Oh. I thought she worked with a German.
Well, yes. May work with one. Does not quite speak to her origin.
Well, they do move about, don't they?
Scientists or English?
Both.
Fair enough. Personally, I think the whole thing's just another illusion. Theatrics. Taking pictures inside of a person without cutting them open. Preposterous.
Well, if it is real science, if it keeps going like this, we may be out of a job.
Yeah. Don't want people looking too closely at things now, do we?
No, not indeed.
Well, I look forward to whatever the spirits may call out to you.
Of course. And perhaps there's an arrangement that could be made in the future for the spirits to speak your name, Mr. Cashano.
Well, you know I'm always listening.
Of course. Tilly, Maria, it's time for dinner. And they turn in unison and go in perfect synchronicity till they go find
always
their seat
on.
and sit down together. They always, it's like A game all the time.
Just like
with these
on
girls.
stage 24/7. It's fantastic.
So, the night progresses and all the tables are laid out and a lavish meal is laid out across this table for all of the guests, and everybody's brought together to have a seat. And as everybody, you have your own like marked stations. The five of you are sitting in a row on one side. On your side, you are also joined by Tullio and Sir Hubert. And then the other side of the table is John Russell, the three Hound sisters, Francesca, Mr. Precht, sorry. And at the front of the table is seated Mr. Cesari.
I imagine that my seat is not initially next to Jill, but before everyone makes their way, I will subtly switch some cards around.
All right.
Any chance I could do a Arcana check on that statue?
Absolutely.
Oh, no.
You can reach inside yourself and see if you sense anything magical or occult.
I got
about
so
this
absorbed with this
statue.
play we're doing, and I forgot that. Oh yeah, we can do rolls and stuff here too.
You can do stuff.
Oh shit, we're playing D&D.
Yeah, we are.
I forgot for a second.
You can play Dungeons and Dragons as much as you want.
Because this
I'm
clock.
glad you guys are engrossed in this Victorian play we're having.
Can I make a social attack?
No.
Wrong system, sorry.
Not
So, you
bad with a
reach-
-1. It was a 15
Not
on
bad with the
Arcana.
minus when you're not like familiar with the occult.
But I
um,
feel anything from it.
This is some kind of religious figure of some sort from some ancient Ottoman tribe that you're not familiar with. But you feel
Not
no
Roman.
malevolence in looking at it.
Okay.
Absolutely. So, everyone is seated for the party. The rain has begun to pick up now and is cascading all around the arched skylights above your heads. There are these massive sectioned windows that look out over the rest of the island of Pavalia, and the head of the table is seated in front of these windows, so you kind of get this nice image of the rest of the Pavalia behind Mr. Cesari. And Mr. Cesari stands and he raises a glass and he says, "I would like to raise a toast to incredible guests. Thank you, everyone, for accepting my invitation, for coming to my island and seeing what it has to offer. The future is here. It is ours to grab hold of and take where we want to take it. And I hope that you all will lead us there. To Pavalia."
Valia.
And Pavalia, everybody raises a glass. And as everyone raises a glass, there is a flash of light behind Mr. Cesari. And a fireball erupts in the distance. And there's a bit of a panic that goes through the crowd. People are screaming and running and like, "Oh,
I lean
everyone,
in-
please stay calm. Stay calm."
Jill, did that seem natural to you?
Did it?
I don't know. You could probably roll some dice.
Well, which ones would you like me to roll?
I want you to roll a nature check.
That's a 19.
It's a 19. You doing a lot of experiments. You did a lot of experiments, particularly with flammable gases. This was a petroleum explosion.
She's kind of over. She says, she kind of does a thing where she's kind of petroleum. It was petroleum.
Interest.
While everybody is kind of freaking out, Mr. Pratti, Cesare is kind of pushing everyone aside, and he's talking to various servants and individuals. He's talking to Mr. Precht, and the doors creak open, and a soggy, wet man comes through. And the right side of his body is burnt to a crisp. And he's stumbling through the hall. Parts... Oh.
24 medicine! I'm on him.
He is badly burned to the point that his eyelids are gone on the right side of his face. And the side of his chin has burned away, so you can see the connective muscle that links the top of his skull to his bottom jaw, and his teeth still shine white and wet underneath, completely uncovered by the skin that was removed. Jill, as you are on him as fast as you can with medicine, this man is in shock, and he is dying. You can tell this right away.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Precht is the next one on the scene who runs up ahead of Mr. Cesare. And Mr. Precht whispers something to this gentleman in his native language. And the gentleman grabs on to Mr. Precht and pulls him close. And you hear him whisper, "Hospital Jibeti Mirtif. Hospital Jibeti Mirtif." And then he passes out.
She kind of looks at Precht and she says, "Care to explain what that was?"
It is nothing. He is clearly in shock from the explosion. It seems there was a fire at the boathouse. Everyone, please calm down. We will assess the damage and ensure that everything is correct. It seems there may have been a stray lightning strike. I have workers on the job. They will check everything out. We apologize for the interruptions. Please finish your meals, and servants will escort you to your rooms.
Jill says, she goes up to Mr. Pratti and she says, "Mr. Pratti, I think that I should offer my services at the boathouse in the event that anyone else is injured in the area."
Yes, of course.
She says, "Perhaps my associate Pinton would like to come along." And she kind of waves Pinton over. "Pinton, I'm going to offer my services at the boathouse in case anyone else is injured in the area. Would you like to come along?"
I will come. I'm afraid I'm not as useful with the living as far as he trails off. Sure. Of course. I'll do whatever I can.
Thank you so much. Thank you, the both of you. The hospital. It is still under construction, but we have a few rooms ready. You can set up there.
Yes, of course.
Precht,
Um,
lead them to the hospital. Take any wounded. Find out what happened and report to me immediately.
and as we're on the way to the hospital, Jill will lean over to Penton and she'll say, I think we need to get to the bottom of what happened. And under the cover of storm in the middle of the night might be the perfect time to do it.
Let's see. Penton did not hear you. He's just being polite. It was too quiet. I didn't hear you. Yes.
He's like, yes.
I've done that in real life.
Because as a player, I didn't hear you, is what that boils down to. I think the mic cut out or something a little bit.
All right, well, you know, whatever. If he just responds, then she doesn't know he didn't hear him or hear her, so she's just like, all right.
So you guys just go off to the hospital.
Yep.
Mr. Practice, like, I will lead you. I will lead you all to the hospital. Please come with me. You and you, gather up this man. Take him to the hospital. Miss Faulkner and Miss Wright will treat him there.
I'm not sure about the rest of you, but lost my appetite. Excuse me, are we in any danger with
is in hysterics.
Nora's seen worse.
Today.
He's safe.
Today, Nora's seen worse.
Safe. This man has lost his mind to think that this place is safe now. Blah, 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 going in the background.
Mr. Cresciano, please. You are in no danger here. Simply a construction accident. We apologize.
Well,
My
I
men
must
will get
admit,
to the
I'm
bottom of it.
certainly not an expert on electricity, but electricity in the building, electricity from the sky, is this a hazard of some sort? I've heard horrible things.
I assure you this was a freak accident.
Are you implying that it could happen in here, too?
I don't know.
No. We store all the fuel on the island at the boathouse. Something must have ignited
All the fuel.
it. All of the fuel.
So you have no fuel then? If the boathouse is destroyed.
We have no boats either.
Are we stuck
we're
here?
stuck here? Jinx.
Fear people, please, fear not. It is all okay. New boats will come on Monday, carrying new workers. They will provide assistance and get us home. We have more than enough supplies to stand out the weekend. This is a freak
This seems
accident.
like
We are in no danger.
This seems like a design flaw of your island. How are we supposed to invest when there's only one boathouse and one way off the island?
Yes, I'm
We'd
not sure.
strand people for days.
Miss Fehrenbach, please. I only finished the one boathouse because I just wanted to bring people over for this presentation. We want a fully functional dock capable of taking in multiple ships upon completion.
Well, I'm not
Which is
sure
just
about the
not
rest
done
of
yet.
you, but I'm quite sure that Miss Gresham will not be interested in investing in a death trap full of random explosions.
I want to incite Sasari. Is he being sincere? He seems chill.
All right, give me that roll. Give me that insight.
I feel like this place is more welcome to people who are wise or intelligent. I don't know what I'm doing.
Yep. I.e., not us.
We're here for show. Hey, 18! I'm excited because that's a 0 on insight for me.
Yeah, that's not bad at all.
Yeah, I'm happy. More insight with my other games.
Cesari is in full damage control mode. Like, you can tell that this is a man who had big plans for this weekend and is like, this is not the way I wanted this to start. I need to correct this now.
Okay, so does it seem like it was part of his plan or anything?
Oh, I definitely, after saying that, turned towards Tulio and just gave a little smirk. Because he seems like a guy who would be in on this.
You're trying to get the deal, huh? You're a very shrewd negotiator, Mr. Cajano. I like that.
Hey, keep it down. Look, if we can work an angle, I'm happy to get you in.
Oh. Of course. So, I mean, what semblance can be salvaged from the evening is salvaged. A number of people are quite panicked. The people who seem to be the least rattled by this are the Hound Sisters. Mr. Turnbull and Sir Grandham. Sir Hubert Grandham. But the evening progresses and people start to calm down just a little bit. Mr. Cesare says, please, finish up. I beg your forgiveness. I do not want this to be a stressful weekend. And really nothing has changed. We stay here till Monday and we all get away fine. Let us not let this put a dampen on our festivities here. It is an accident. The repairs will be made. And we will ensure to hire more qualified workers that are more skilled in handling petrol in the future.
Please do.
Very well. Please try to enjoy the evening. My deepest apologies for this.
After dinner, whenever I get a chance, I want to talk to Russ.
Very well.
I'm gonna pull
Dinner
Nora
finishes
aside.
up. All right. Pull Nora aside. We'll get to you and Nora in just a little bit. What do you want to say to Russ?
Yeah, when I can kind of, out of earshot of others. Russ! Wild place, huh?
You see that fireball?
Yeah, is that something that normally happens? Have you ever experienced that with an oil field, ignition by lightning strike?
This whole industry's kind of new. See, we had a feller. He liked smoking a pipe.
Yeah.
Well, he went out one of our drilling apparatus one day. And there was a fire that done knocked me right out of my rocking chair. By the time I got there, that man was clinging to the charred remains of that drilling apparatus. We had to pry him off with a shovel. So I was thinking a thing or two. It's a dangerous business working with petrol.
Apparently. So you wouldn't suspect any foul play, you'd say. Quite possible that...
Not unless somebody knew they wasn't supposed to smoke out there.
But could it have ignited by lightning? Or are we being fed
I
a...
suppose could. I mean, I come from a pretty dry place. When we do get rain, I mean, it's pretty wet. So I don't worry too much of nothing igniting then. We don't usually go drilling at those times. But I suppose, technically, lightning hit it, could fire up the whole thing. I mean, I'm not a scientist. I just drill for this stuff. Black stuff comes out of the ground. People are buying it up.
Fair enough. Still, you can always claim an expertise, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Perhaps rumors of foul play, persistent danger, strange occurrences. Who knows? Could affect the number of bidders to compete.
Well, maybe it could. Oh, maybe I could take that whole back island for farmland. Make a little cottage for myself, a little retirement place.
There you go. Have it for
Wouldn't
the
that be
steal.
nice? Old European debutante me, John Turtle.
I don't see why not.
That'd be a hoot.
Well, I think I'm in need of a drink.
Indeed.
And he does a little puff of smoke comes out of his fingers.
Hey, don't forget, we're supposed to do some target practice tomorrow.
Yes,
He
would
opens
love
up his
to learn
coat
how
and
to.
shows you his gun.
Love to learn the real thing.
Absolutely. And so the evening continues. Nora, Lilith, you guys wanted to have a discussion before we go to the hospital?
Yeah, just a really quick point out. That was quite a start. I feel like I lost some years of my life with that one.
I know, I've never seen anything quite like that.
Never. I find it quite odd, though. Those three over there, and I point at the sisters and Hubert, and
Sir
what was
Hubert Grandham.
Sir Hubert, Grandham, the sisters, and who was the other party?
John Russell Turnbull, the American.
John Russell Turnbull. So John, Hubert, and the sisters were not startled at all. Did you find that odd?
It is. That's quite a start. The sisters especially. You'd think
Why
they'd
the
be more
sisters?
fragile. Well, Turnbull, he's in petroleum. He has probably seen explosions before. Sir Hubert, I don't know anything about, but 3 fairly normal-looking women? You'd think they'd be startled like we are.
You have a point. And just to answer your question about Sir Hubert, it seems he's an adventurer similar to Cesare from what I'm understanding with a previous conversation I had with him. A little bit of a historian.
Perhaps he's been in situations that means he doesn't startle easily then.
Life-threatening situations, perhaps. Should we get to know the sisters a little more to see what's their story? Or do you know?
All I know is that they're performers. Kashano knows them more than I do. I only just briefly met them.
And what was his interpretation
Unless what they
of them?
do is...
What?
He seems impressed by them. I mean, there's always the possibility they're the real deal. They're not shaken because they saw it coming. But that's ridiculous.
You said you were impressed by what they do, or was it?
Kashano seems impressed by what they do. I'm not so much impressed by what any of them do.
Oh. What do they do exactly in their performances?
I'm not so sure. I think they're spiritualists too, so probably raise the dead, turn the electricity on and off, use a pedal to shake the table, take rich women's money.
Oh dear! Nora, forbid! Stealing from the rich! We must stick close together then.
Nora, looks away and rolls her eyes so that Lilith can't see, and then looks back and just pats her arm. I know.
You'll have to protect me, Nora.
I will try.
Well, let's stick close together, darling.
I don't trust this electricity either. If a storm could knock out the boathouse, what's to stop it from knocking out everything else here?
Exactly. I wasn't sure if Cesare's having people double check the wires and whatnots in here in this building. Who was it that got blown away by these? Anyways, was it one of the bidders?
A worker, I think.
Yeah, it was just some
Worker.
worker.
Just a
Oh, that's
Just a
unfortunate.
worker.
That's gonna slow down the
Just some
process a bit right
worker.
here.
Just some
How
guy. It
unfortunate.
was actually one of the gentlemen that you saw Mr. Precht chastising back at the farm area.
Oh, to pick up the box that had the bone inside?
Yeah.
Oh,
That's interesting.
that is interesting. Hmm.
What do you think of
That's
Senator
correct, right?
Pratti?
Well, he seems to have the role in his head to boss people around. He seemed...
He speaks... Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
He speaks very pretty. It's like he says everything that I want to hear, and it sounds good.
Ah,
But I
feeding.
don't believe he doesn't have other ideas of what to do with this island.
He feeds you what you want to hear. Interesting. And yet
I mean,
has
the
no thought for
Enlightenment,
himself?
the philosophy, coming out of the darkness to dispel superstition.
He seems a lot
It's a good
more
speech.
a believer of the spirituals than Cesare is.
Cesare is
Correct me
Pratti.
if I'm wrong. Oh, Cesare is Pratti?
Wait.
Cesare's Pratti.
Yeah.
They're the same people.
Oh, 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 uh-oh.
Who are you talking about?
I don't know. I'm not keeping up the story, apparently. There's so many names. There's so hard to keep track of.
Write it down.
I don't have time to write it down. I'm fanning myself, darling.
Oh my god, this is so good.
You know what? Is this
Oh, this is what
canon?
guys
You
love.
don't know who we're talking about?
Play it as you will.
It's just like literally Lilith in the middle of like, wait, who? No. What?
He looked so different from when we first met him. The costume change really did something for him.
Meanwhile,
Oh no. Please, yes, change scene. I'm done.
Lilith.
back at the hospital. So, Mr. Precht leads you guys out through the rain to the hospital, and once you get inside, you can see that beyond the brick facade of this place, there are actually large sections of this that are still in ruins. You can see the places clearly that they're working on in various stages. Immediately when you come in, the entrance foyer has kind of been set up, and there's kind of a makeshift reception desk that has been set up there, although everything is very unfinished. The hall's split in two directions the moment you come in, to the right and to the left. Down the right, you can see that all of the collapsing rubble and the old structure of this place has been swept to the side in channels on both sides to give people a clear walkway back and forth through. And immediately to the left side, you can see 4 rooms that have been set up as kind of makeshift first aid and hospital rooms for anybody that might require it on the island. And they seem fairly well equipped and well set up. These are the most finished parts of this building, but you still get the impression that you're in the skeleton of a very old structure as you enter in. And you're followed by the gentleman who came behind you, carrying the body of this man who stumbled into the ballroom, and they set him up on a table for you guys to examine. And after they do that, another group of men bring in 2 more bodies and lay them up on examining tables for you guys. These 2 men are dead.
Okay.
One of them has steam coming off of the body still, as the rain that is stuck to the corpse is evaporating from its heat.
Okay.
The other one
is-
has bits of wood, like flinders and shards of lumber, sticking out of various portions of the body.
Jules, is this everyone that you found thus far?
Yes, miss. This is everyone we could find.
Okay, leave us.
Yes, miss. And the worker departs.
Okay. What about Hurt? What?
Correct?
Yeah, Precht. That's what it is.
Precht is staying in the foyer.
Okay. So currently, it's just Penton, I, and these 3 bodies.
Yes.
Okay.
The workers are standing outside. Some of them seem very upset.
Okay.
The workers that brought the 2 extra bodies are actually there.
In the room or like outside the?
They're outside. They're waiting outside for you guys to tell them something. You think that perhaps they knew the bodies.
Okay. Jill's gonna say, Penton, these 2 appear to be done for. Does it look like there's anything I can do for the other guy?
Well, he is in shock, and he seems to have passed out from the pain. Your previous medicine check tells you that if he does not receive serious medical attention, he will likely die. If you had this man in a hospital, you would likely amputate both of his right-hand limbs.
Yeah. Do I have the equipment I need to do that?
You do.
Okay. You say, Penton, have you ever been part of an amputation before?
No, rather ghastly business, but I have heard and seen it done. I've mainly worked on cadavers in my studies.
Well, unfortunately, we have 2 cadavers that we can't help with. You can focus on those all you want later. For the now, I'm going to need your help. And Jill is gonna start gathering all the supplies, and while she's doing that, she's telling Penton the process of what she's about to do, as far as like getting iodine and kind of doing all of that kind
Bone
of stuff.
saws and
Yeah.
My friend, if he doesn't die from the shock, he may very well die of sepsis at this point. I mean, you can't take off his head for sure, and the burns are spread all the way up.
Yes, I believe he can live with the burns, but if we can get rid of the hands, as unfortunate as it may be, he may have a chance.
So be it. I will trust you on this. You seem far more experienced in the medical field than I.
Is that the same thing you said earlier?
yes.
Okay. Do you know what that means?
Does it have Latin roots? Like, would I be able to...
It is Croatian.
I see. I'm gonna pretend like I know whether or not that means it has Latin roots. I
No.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'm gonna. Jill will ask Penton. She'll say, write that down. We can look into
always
figuring
do.
out what that means later.
I presume he already had his book out and was writing it down.
Probably. She wasn't looking. She's like gathering supplies and stuff.
Miss. You hear from the doorway.
Yes.
I know what he is saying, miss.
What? What is he saying?
The vengeful dead, miss.
And there's just a worried look at Penton.
And he's not shocked, but there is just kind of an eyebrow raised, just like I see.
She'll say, please, leave us. This is going to be unpleasant. We can discuss this at a later time. For now, we need to try to save this man's life.
Miss, please. He is my brother. Please save him.
I will do my best. You don't want to see this. And she'll close and lock the door, locking her and Penton and all these bodies inside.
Very well.
And then she will... is there a window in this room?
There are windows.
Okay. She will open the curtains on one of the windows that's facing the moon. And she'll take it, once everything's prepared and set up, she'll take a moment, she'll turn towards the window, and she probably has her back to Pin if she's like standing out and looking out a window, but and you kind of see her arms moving from behind as you hear her whispering something not quite loud enough for you to hear. And then she turns back. And she says, well, I suppose it's time to get to work. And then she goes to work and starts trying to amputate.
As the bone saw cuts into the flesh for the first time, A hard, burnt, crusty exterior of it flakes off as the blade begins to make connection with the muscle. And as you lay into the first cut, there is a scream and a sound of falling metal materials as a bunch of medical supplies are knocked over. The third man, with pieces of lumber sticking out of him, is awake and flailing his arms. And that's where we're going to stop.
Zombie!
We had no
Great.
pulse. We checked this.
Fucking
Right.
crunchy zombies.
When did you check it?
Well, I'm saying we checked it because we were like, they're definitely dead. And we're both medical professionals.
Look, let's say
We
that they
would've done
looked
that.
pretty dead when they came in.
Yeah. At a certain point,
I feel
It's like-
misled.
Guy's
It's fine.
got the fucking Home Depot lumber section sticking out of his torso. You
It's a
probably think, yeah, he's
mystery.
probably gone.
Assume
Yeah,
nothing.
exactly.
It's a mystery game. You gotta check.
Other guy looks
investigate.
like a steamy, crispy
but
critter.
again, no.
I wonder if
And
they're like
I mean,
Marvel
if that were a
Devils.
real life situation, that's what they would do is assume that he was dead.
Yeah, you can go work
Yeah.
on the most live looking.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the one that doesn't have a
Triage,
lumber section
baby.
sticking out of his torso. So,
Yeah, this guy is a
that
Home
has
Depot
been
now.
a weekend in Pavalia. Session
I was gonna
1.
say a weekend at Bernie's.
A weekend at Bernie, session 1.
It's
A weekend
it might be
in
about to be.
Pavalia, session 1. Tune in next week for more of this as we unfold this mystery. Will everyone survive? Will everyone maintain their sanity? Who knows? You'll have to stay tuned and watch. So until next time, I'm afraid, we'll see you on the island.
Beholder, he'll never let us down. Barry the Beholder, he's the mayor of our town. Barry the Beholder is a big round ball, 10 eye stalks and a giant gaping maw. A single big round eye sits above his toothy frown. He's Barry the Beholder, he's the mayor of our town.